Good morning. Let me just check all the sounds. Here we go. Are you still good? The volume okay? Alright, so today is the last little part on our the riva class. I'm good, enjoying the sun and then the crazy cold weather. Yesterday was really great. Today just looks like it's gonna cry outside. That's London for you. Oh, you missed last week's lesson, didn't you? Were you here? Yeah, look forward to that. So today is going to be an actual short class in terms of the actual moves we're doing. Because last week, how did the exams go? Morning, Ginger. It's a meme class for you, Ginger. Nice. Since today is quite a short class in terms of moves, I'll recap everything a bit slower that we did on Monday. It's a meme class. I've added the memes to my lessons now, Ginger. Kirsten says they're really bad. Exactly. So, our riva class, I think most people know what the riva is about. Friday we talked about the body positioning. We want our hips kind of on the inside. It makes our riva stronger, collar grip, and etc. First up, what to do with your hands. So I like to do this riva grip drill to kind of always have something to grab, and it just goes like this. Someone breaks your collar grip, you take their sleeve. Someone breaks your sleeve grip, you kick, sit up, and grab the belt. This is where most of us kind of make the mistake of reaching up for the belt to grab it. I do that all the time as well. But try to sit up to grab the belt. It's always slightly better, and you get a better pull to go wherever you want to go, basically. Yeah, I found loads of jiu-jitsu memes. It's hard to find ones that specifically though. So our biggest issue with the riva is people stepping over our leg like this, usually to do some form of pass like a knee slice or leg weave. So that's our general kind of problem. Well, our first problem, which is them stepping over and swallowing our legs like this. Okay. Now, this pushing of our riva hook is another one, but for now we're just looking at the step over because it's really annoying. So to stop you from stepping over your guard, we've got to get good at one of these little moves here, and there's loads of options, and depending on what you like best, that's what you're gonna go for. But this is the first thing you want to master if you're going to be a good riva player. Couple of options. You have foot on the hip, which is the first one. You gotta make that foot as heavy as you can and pull the person down at the same time, so that if they try to step over your leg, it's really difficult. That's your kind of first traditional option. Your second one is playing a slightly awkward de la riva, which is always having your foot on the floor, which de la riva himself does, the guy who kind of invented the guard. But he just puts that foot on the floor and he's always hopping, so it's really awkward for the person on top to try to step over, because they're just too far away. It leads to deep de la riva hooks and lots of other transitions, but that's another option you have. Foot on the ribs is the Kyotera kind of approach, where he puts his foot almost in a footlock scenario, which is right underneath the armpit, and kind of angles his foot, his shin, in kind of this sort of angle across their chest. And it basically means you can use it to kick people over, like we did in the Bernbola class. And it also makes it harder for them to push this down, because they have to raise their arm really high to be able to. Again, putting that foot on the rib cage makes it difficult for people to step over. The Mendes approach is the foot on the biceps, another common one. Every time they try to step over, you swim, and you keep that swimming battle going on. And if you get decent at that, that's another good option. All of them have their flaws, of course. Foot on the biceps, it's easier for people to drag your leg or to throw your leg by. The foot on the floor, it's easier to get rid of the hooks. The foot on the hip, depending on how strong your legs are, you might not be able to hold someone's pushing power of their arms. So kind of, you're gonna obviously focus on one, but just kind of find the one you're most comfortable with. The last one is Levi's version, which is the stomp. He isn't used very often, but it's used by him at really high levels, which is basically here, and every time they try to step over your leg, you're gonna still keep the foot on the hip. You're just gonna aggressively kick and pull like this. Kick and pull, and he would go straight into his attacks now, but that's the idea. Cool. So that's the first thing I'll tell someone to master if they're playing de la riva, is this control over here and not letting people step over your leg. If you can do that for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, then you have a really good de la riva guard. I just find this really difficult as well, so don't worry, you just gotta practice. But when you realize that they have stepped over, we need another kind of game plan, which is, one, we can accept that we lost the la riva and stop playing something else, or two, we can reset the position. So these are drills. First one's gonna be the windshield of your legs, which is this. They step over, I windshield my leg like this. Takes a bit of mobility and leg work to get used to, but if your timing is good, you'll be able to get your leg free pretty easy. Now, of course, this Huey isn't really aggressively knee slicing me, so it makes it easier for me to windshield my foot. So this would be slightly better against someone who's maybe setting up a leg weave or just stepping over the leg but not really passing. So keep that in mind. If someone is slicing away, it's going to be really difficult for you to take your leg out. But our other option, again, this is against a static approach where the person steps over but they're not really trying to slice. It's a knee bar pressure, I'm gonna cup the ankle over here, and I'm gonna kind of leg curl my leg really heavy down, make a back step so I can get my legs free. That's our knee bar kind of approach. Step over, knee bar, and your leg free. Mendes reset, which is probably the most famous one. This is often when they're trying to knee slice you. As they step over, you make a barrier with your knee over here so that they can't slice through. And we're gonna use that energy of them trying to slice to pull the collar, make them base, and reset. So lots of arm and leg work here, but it's a great drill to kind of get used to, especially because most people are gonna try to knee slice you, and that's our counter. So that gives us moves to stop them from stepping over, which is your first kind of approach. And if they do step over, we know a way to get back to the riva as soon as possible. Again, takes lots of drilling to get used to it. So now we basically have enough knowledge for our blue belt. If you can do all of this, and we can start looking at today's class, which is the sweeps. Oh, I forgot to mention these. The sweeps today are gonna come from collar grip, far sleeve, near sleeve, these positions. And I'll just tell you, if you get each grip, what you're trying to kind of do. If you got the far sleeve grip, you're generally okay from passes because it's really difficult for the person to step over your leg because you got access to that sleeve, and it slows down the fight quite a bit, just having that sleeve like that. And often they're just gonna fight to try to break this. If you have the near sleeve, your goal generally is to not let them grab your collars, because if they do and they tuck their elbow in, they're basically negating this sleeve grip. So you can punch your way like this, and it'll give you access to kind of their belt over here if you can grab it, but you kind of can off balance them like this as well. But we'll see what moves are gonna go for in each case. And then the collar grip, there's no secret about it. You're just trying to use it to break posture or to punch the person from side to side. So there. I'm not sure if you guys roll with someone with really strong collar grips, but you can definitely feel it on your back after rolling if they're constantly breaking your posture, making you base. Okay, so moving on to the sweeps now. If you got any questions, fire them away. The first one we're going to start off is from the collar and sleeve situation, which I haven't spoken about, but there's a time for all of these moves that we did, right? We've been controlling the ankle. I don't know if you can see it from these angles, but I've been controlling the ankle with my left hand pretty much half of the positionings. But there's a time where we can switch to collar and sleeve guard and keep our de la riva hook at the same time. And that's usually when they're trying to pressure you. So if I'm here, right, and I feel Chris's knee starting to pressure me like this, I can switch to the sleeve, because that means that she can't run away from me anymore. Okay, so she's bending her knee, she's not backing away. That's the usual problem with collar and sleeve, is that you're not controlling their legs, so they can just back away and get out of the De La Riva guard. But if they're pressuring you, that means you can grab the collar in the sleeve. And if they keep pressuring you now, you've got this overhead sweep where you use the grips to pull the person towards you. You load them on and you roll them over. Only gonna work if they're aggressively kind of pressuring you. Be ready to roll on each shoulder. So this is me rolling towards my left shoulder there, but you could end up with sweeping the person over your right shoulder as well, depending on them. Most likely it's going to be over your left because you've got the sleeve, but sometimes you can't see it here, but the person can base with this arm, which means you're going to have to do another hip explosion to get over the top. Another angle here. Again, I have regular De La Riva here. Chris tries to pressure my De La Riva hook without breaking my De La Riva hook, which is bad on her side. That's why I take the sleeve, pull, and float them over. So that's our overhead sweep when they're pressuring us. I'm not gonna speak any more about the collar sleeve because we did it all in the berimbolo lesson. So if I go over here, the other kind of collar sweeps that we kind of do are all to do with off balancing the person or doing the overhead back take. That's pretty much it. But if we're here, another sweep from the collar guard is just as they're trying to kind of backstep, we just off balance them like this, okay, and then get up. But that's the berimbolo class instead. Moving on to another collar sweep. What have we got? One more. This one works great if against you're trying to do the overhead sweep, but you kind of didn't finish it off, or the person squats down. You can combo with this, which is quite nice. But basically, if we got access to this sleeve without the person having a strong grip, we can punch this grip underneath our De La Riva hook, like this. And now they got no base to this side, and you can knock them over. One more version here. Get the sleeve, punch, and sweep. The difficult part about the sweep obviously is if they have a grip and their elbow is tight, it's going to be difficult for us to get the sweep. But if they got an open elbow like this, this is one option for a sweep. And quite an easy one. Moving on to the near sleeve. So break grip, I take the near sleeve. Again, try to get that muscle memory of not letting the person grab onto something. And I'm gonna go straight for my move, which is the shotgun, which is a deep De La Riva hook where I throw my hips above the knee line and hook over there. And then from here, depending on how powerful the shotgun is and the base, you might just fall over like this and you can get up. Or they might stay standing, which then you end up with the baby bolo instead. Another angle from this side. So here, I lift my hips up using that foot on the hip, or the foot on the floor like we've previously talked about. Put your deep hook in and try to knock the person over. One thing that helps here when you're trying to knock them over is at this stage here to punch their calf in that direction and pull in this direction. Try to keep the sleeve grip because that's how they come back up. So just punch it and do a regular back row that we learned at the start of the class. Punch and get up. Another near sleeve kind of move is a single leg. Now this is quite a powerful one, but not used very well because just people don't like wrestling. Some of them do. But you take your sleeve grip, and this time you're gonna deliberately actually put your leg in the middle, so we can stomp the person forward. And because we have that that sleeve there, they don't have that collar grip and they won't be facing us anymore. And that means that we can punch this grip away and get up to a single leg like this. Might not end up like that with the person accepting the sweep, but it's an option. And a good one as well. I know some people are very good at the sweep. So if you don't like the riva, but you got a strong top game, this could be your golden move to get on top. That's it for the near sleeve options. There aren't that many kind of versions of the near sleeve variation. There's lots of transitions to X guards, normal platters, triangles and stuff. But in terms of just general sweeps, there aren't that many options. Far sleeve, it's traditional. Everyone learns this. Far ankle tilt. So you grab the far sleeve this time instead of the near one. And I'm going to twist the person over to the side. To the side they don't have base. Probably one of the first De La Riva moves we learn. The longer your legs and arms are, and the shorter the person is, the better. I can give you a few tips to finish the sweep a bit easier. One is the twist on their knee here, and the other one is to not stretch them at the start. If you stretch them at the start, they'll just kind of widen their base really wide. So just kind of wait for the right time, and then you're gonna pull and extend at the same time instead of extending and then pulling, which happens quite a bit. So in terms of fast sleeve, you've got other sweeps, but it will break the rule of it being in De La Riva because we can sit up and pass the sleeve and come up for singles, and the other ones are transitions. So in terms of just De La Riva from the far sleeve, that's kind of the only sweep we're left with for now. De La Riva X, we can play this anytime we have any of the sleeves. It's a good time. So here I take the near sleeve, put my X in, I can make a De La Riva X, and from there we've got a few other options of sweeps. We can start grabbing the belt there, and just like the overhead sweep, we can start pulling the person over and doing a back row to finish. We could, depending on how the person reacts, sweep them to this side or even this side sometimes if you have the far sleeve. So it's kind of versatile sweep in terms of which way you want to go. But one of the easiest options is to grab the belt and then just kind of backward roll them. If they're basing backwards, you're not going to be able to do that, but you should be able to knock them from side to side. Again, from this side, deep hook, make your X, grab the belt, backward roll. Once you do these ones, you kind of get a wow factor. And And that's pretty much it for the sweeps from De La Riva. Next up is going to be the transitions, which we might look at it on Friday. But in terms of recapping everything from De La Riva, get good at not letting people step over your leg. Use any of these moves here. Make one of them your signature, or two. Foot on the hip, foot on the floor, foot on the ribs, and foot on the bicep, or the stomp. So you got 5 there. So depending on who you're fighting, you should, and kind of body positioning, try to figure out which one is best for you. But that's our first goal, that's stop them from stepping over. If they do, we know a recovery now. We have windshield early on if you can. Knee bar pressure, if they're static. Use your hamstring to curl on that knee. Take your leg free. The men, there's reset if they're knee slicing you. If you knee slice, make the barrier. Move your knee, off balance them, and reset. Our far sleeve here will also negate any of those kind of moves. And then you're ready to do whatever you want to do. So if we go back to our berimbolo class, everything here should kind of go together with our De La Riva control. You can do your berimbolos now after you sweep them, or you can choose to do the sweeps that we looked at today. If they're pressuring you, you want to overhead sweep them. Another option is to tilt sweep them to the side like this. Again, you have to have access to the sleeve there, and you have to break that grip. On more traditional ones, we have our near sleeve shotgun. Extend your legs through, balance them. We have a single leg bump, which I quite like. Kick them, punch, sit up. And then in terms of a fast sleeve, we have usually just our tilt sweep like this. And if you want to have fun, or you have quite long legs, De La Riva X always an option. And pretty much you can do half of your moves from De La Riva X as well. Cool, any questions, fire them away. But this should give you insight on what you kind of want to focus on when you're doing De La Riva. Probably these two first things we looked at is more important than anything. Not letting people step over your legs and recovering, because the sweeps will come afterwards. They'll start doing silly stuff because they can't pass your De La Riva hook, and you'll be able to off balance them and eventually become a berimbolo god and take everyone's back. Or just sweep them and get on top. Or they'll pass you by. Anyway, I'm gonna look at this roll with me and Ginger over here and see what happens. But that is the end of the class. If you gotta go, you can go. Right now I'm just gonna look at these rolls, see what we did right or wrong. No round with Ginger. Nice little that back step cross. Okay, let's get the X, the back step, beautiful. And controls my leg. It's really smart. So whenever you do back steps from X's or anything, controlling the leg is really important. And here, you even get the pass. And straight into octopus guard, and my arm is in the wrong position here. If I can take this arm out, I'll be in a good position. But right now, it's not looking very good. So guillotine attempted to scare Ginger, and it works. She backs kind of away. Yeah, Ginger could have taken my back. If I try to come up from this position, it's not kind of good for me. So you can actually let me come up on top and then take my back instead. But you pressure me instead, which is okay as well. I think, yeah. But I have her foot, I think, in this position. I think we're in octopus kind of guard. A cheeky grab of the gi there to stop her from backstepping.
What an amazing lyric. Lyricist. 10 out of 10.
To talk about the song. I think this was a low X leg lock entry. I guess this will get distracted by the music, so that's my chance to attack her legs. Roll out of the area there. Ginger with the shin to shin. Now this kind of happens to me all the time as well. Whenever you're going shin to shin, see this little space you have in between your arms and my knee. They're kind of rolling lightly, of course, but whenever you have one leg X, you need to have that little aggressive tight hug of the leg. Otherwise, any space that's given, the person can get an underhook like this and pressure you. And there, you can see she's still got my ankle there, and I'm trying to flick it off, but I can't, so I had to switch the directions of the pass. She catches my ankle, really nice, and she has her arm in the right position. Now, the only reason why I was managed to get that was because you stopped at this point here. Now you got that arm in a good position, which is the deep off, right? But I got my head like underneath yours. So you could bind your arms right now really tight and just roll to that side and sweep me. Is a deep off sweep, because you kind of lie back and you take this arm out. You kind of gave me the back here. You get a nice position there. This is also good for you. That was a perfect counter. This bit here. So I get Kimura on you. You're able to flare that over the top, which is good. It gives me the Kimura, but you can see you're able to strip the grip, and then you have this kind of position, which is actually, I forgot the name for this, but it's the actual name. But basically, you're controlling my elbow here, which means that you can reach around with this arm and grab my neck, and you can threaten a Bravo. And if you spin in this direction here while attacking the Bravo, you might end up on top of me with a nice attack. But what happens here is That was good. This is good. Here you should be switching to my head and rolling up. But I managed to get my leg free here underneath you. And I think it's just because you kind of let go of the pressure on my leg. On the floor. Unfortunately, you try to stop the hook and you get your arm trapped at the same time. Okay, arm free, nice. That's the roll there. And if you had my head, this is basically the counter. And here, if you reach around and had my head, that would be the counter I was talking about. Doing a good job here. Putting the choking arm over my head. Yeah, the darts, that's it. And you do the no ribs escape and roll up. Sit back here to attack the leg. That was a very good grip that you took there to stop berimbolo. Where you put your hand on the inside of my knee. That's really good. That's because you gotta get this knee to the other side to be able to finish this kill hook. If someone's trying to berimbolo you, you're trying to get that knee on the inside, which I think is what you're doing right now. You abort on the foot lock. And I start transitioning. And there, I think you're just starting to attack my legs. And I saw this little gap there. If I can get that gap. That means I can chair sit. Yeah, whenever someone's inverted like this and on top of you, you just gotta know if you turn your back away to them, there is some form of back take. So you're far better off staying flat like you were before. If your back's on the mat, it's harder for them to take your back. Here, just a battle of hands. And basically this is basically the back system we're looking at. I'm pretty sure we did a back lesson before you came, Ginger, that's why. Unfortunately, this is why I bully Ginger. That was my K guard attempt. Clap right X. good escape here, Ginger. But there she followed that rule, just getting her back to the floor. So there's no way for me to take her back there. And she lands on 411 somehow. She's nice. There's the heel hook. Ooh, she's so close to my ankle. Oh, that's why I get saved by the door there. Look at that. That looks pretty tight. I think one more second there. You would have gotten my heel. That is it for now, guys. I think that was all our rows. First row since October. Yeah. Can never finish them. We'll get used to them. We'll probably all be losing heel hooks when we come back anyway. Let me save this because I always forget to save and I lose all this stuff. Alright guys, that is it for today. Have a lovely week. How long till gyms are open? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks left. And maybe we can get something going on. Take it easy. Stay strong. And on Friday we'll do the fancy transitions. Bye bye.